Now is the only president in the history of the United States to be impeached twice. And on Monday, the House impeachment managers formally triggered the start of Donald Trump's second impeachment trial. Listen in.
House Resolution 24 in the House of Representatives, United States, January 13th, 2021, resolved that Donald John Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate.
The managers presented the incitement of insurrection article to the Senate, setting the stage for a distractive and divisive trial of the former president. On Wednesday evening, 9 House impeachment managers silently walked the article of impeachment through the same ornate halls of Congress, the same spot that was overrun by Trump's supporters on January 6th, that is the day of the Capitol Hill attack. Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland read out the charges against Trump on the Senate floor. He said that Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States.
Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States, in that on January 6, 2021, pursuant to the 12th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the House of Representatives, and the Senate met at the United States Capitol for a joint session of Congress to count the votes of the Electoral College. In the months preceding the joint session, President Trump repeatedly issued false statements asserting that the presidential election results were the product of widespread fraud and should not be accepted by the American people or certified by state or federal officials.
Keep in mind that the former president still continues to enjoy significant support from Republican senators. Donald Trump was impeached on 13th of January, and his formal impeachment proceedings will begin on the 8th of February. Speaking exclusively to CNN, President Biden said that he thinks that the trial has to happen. Biden acknowledged the impact an impeachment can have on his legislations and his cabinet, but maintained that the effects will likely be worse if the impeachment does not happen. This will also be the 4th Senate impeachment trial of a president in U.S. history. For more on this story, WION's correspondent Jagriti Dave now joins us live from Washington, D.C. Jagriti, thanks for joining us. Now, Trump's second impeachment trial has officially begun, and several Democrats have called it historic in nature. Tell us more about the procedure and what lies ahead for the former president.
Well, ordinarily, the delivery of the article of impeachment to the Senate would trigger the start of that trial. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have come to an agreement that the start date should be on the week starting February the 8th. And that is to give the Senate time to concentrate on U.S. President Joe Biden's agenda, on his cabinet, getting his cabinet confirmed, but also to give time to Donald Trump to assemble his defense team. And so the impeachment managers are going to be sworn in on Tuesday, but we've still got that little bit of a wait before the trial effectively begins. Presiding over the proceedings is Patrick Leahy, the most senior senator in the Democratic Party. He is going to look over proceedings, and effectively you've got both teams now using that time to put forward their case ahead of the trial.
Right. Let's also talk about Donald Trump's support within the Republican Party. How will that impact the trial, and do a majority of Republicans still support him?
So that is an interesting question, because some argue that the wait until the beginning of February means that the momentum that there was following the riots against Donald Trump from within his own party may be waning. There's a growing number of Republicans who are increasingly questioning both the legitimacy of the trial of a former president, but also the case against Donald Trump, whether his actions and his words are tantamount to incitement, which is what the charge is that is leveled against him by House Democrats. And so whilst it seems that core support for Donald Trump still, whilst it might be waning, the momentum that may have been building to take some action against the president within his own party at the time doesn't seem to be there anymore. At least that's what Lindsey Graham, Republican senator who's a close ally of Donald Trump, also seems to be thinking, according to reports.
Right. Now, shifting focus to President Biden's huge policy overhauls. He signed an executive order to reverse a Trump-era ban on transgender Americans joining the military. And now the Senate also voted today to confirm Janet Yellen as the Treasury Secretary, the first female Treasury Secretary. Tell us more how his moves are being received.
So I think there's, we know that a lot of Joe Biden's announcements are going to be reversing former President Trump's agenda. We are seeing some historic moves, as in the nomination of the first female Treasury Secretary. But we are also seeing potentially some continuity, particularly with regards to China, for example. You heard Jen Psaki in the press briefing earlier today talking about the need to focus on China as a threat to the United States, at least as a competitor, serious competitor in the landscape of technology. So I think we can expect continued action against China, a sort of an assertive role that the US will take against China. But I think we are going to see more and more measures that will reverse some of the things that President Trump did. Most recently, of course, reinstating that travel ban. It actually originally put in place by Donald Trump, the travel restrictions on the UK, Europe and Brazil. But in his last days, President Trump said he was going to rescind those restrictions as of January the 26th. Well, the Biden administration have put those in place and included South Africa onto the restricted travel list, bearing in mind the spread of the various strains of the coronavirus that are spreading in many of those countries where those travel bans have been put in place.
Right, Jagati, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us on WION this morning.